Welcome to the Uncut with X. Today's guest does not need an introduction. Onyango Tate, known for his controversial views about university education, went viral over the MKU video.
Look at this car. It belongs to my business. It's not rich, obvious. Teaching you about business. He's teaching you about business. And look at this car. When you think you're going to be rich, I am from the exam room right now. All these people think they're going to be rich by doing this exam.
So how are you doing, Onyango?
I'm just doing fine. I cannot say that I'm not doing good.
Yeah.
We are always doing fine.
The matrix isn't attacking.
They're pinching a bit. They're pinching. They're pinching a little, but we are just pushing harder.
Yeah, so I wanted us to talk about education. And you, as a person in many videos, have said education is a scam. Like, why do you think university education is a scam?
Have you ever had someone say that they got rich through the university?
I've never had, okay. I've never had.
Then, okay, why are we going to the universities? Why are we going to school? So that you can get a good life.
Yes.
What's happening?
But education offers knowledge, and many people go. I don't know why many people go to school, but I personally would go to school to get knowledge on a particular field and apply that knowledge to now get the money or get rich, as you said.
Okay, I'm not against the universities as most people think, but I'm only saying that if you know what you're going to do there and you know it's going to benefit you, then go for it. But if you are unsure of what you're going to do there, because I know even 80% of the people who join the university nowadays, they're unsure of what they're going to do.
Yeah. And most of them don't know what they're going to do.
And one of the people just graduate and they are still clueless. They're clueless.
So you don't think it's a scam? People going through higher education is not a scam.
It is a scam, because why do you want to take me through a lot of meanders? You have tricked me to think that I have to go through all these meanders to get that paper money.
Okay.
To get that cash.
Okay, your video went viral because you were saying lecturers don't earn enough money because of the cars they drive. That's why you don't advocate for people going to university, right?
It was what I was trying to say is that these are the people who are teaching us how to be rich.
Okay. And
is driving that kind of car. It wasn't on a bad note.
Okay.
I was just giving an example. If I want to, for example, when I want to learn how to lift weights or I want to get fit in the gym,
okay,
I go to someone who is fit.
Yeah.
If I want to start earning some money, I'll go to someone who is financially stable.
Okay.
Do you think that's true? Does it make sense?
To some extent, it does make sense. How I view it is, as you've said, if you want to go to get fit, to go to someone who's already fit for you to be able to learn well. I mean, I wouldn't go for gym lessons to someone who's fat. I'd go to someone who's fit like you. But how I view schools, rather, it's a place where you get knowledge, not necessarily wealth. So there are lecturers, they might be broke or rich, but I'll go to them because they have the knowledge, not because they have the money.
What if the knowledge is not useful? Does it remain knowledge still? It's still not useful in the real world.
Okay.
Is it knowledge if it is not useful in the real world?
Do you have any alternative from university, since you're not pro university?
If I have any as for me, what I can say is just try multiple things. I tried fitness. I see fitness is working for me.
Okay.
I can sell some stuff. Yeah.
But then how do you get rich from that? Because I'm trying to understand how it's much better from someone going to university.
Can you come up with again?
How do you get rich from that? You've said someone can try multiple things, like you're trying fitness. Then how does someone, make money from that?
So you start selling non-stuff. So you can start selling protein supplements.
Okay.
Because you are fit.
Okay,
if you are fit, someone can see, oh, this guy, you have that trust.
Let's take an example of just a basic case scenario of someone who is going through university and someone who's not. So before I go to that analogy, do you think employment is... what's your view on employment?
My view on employment, the 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, the 9-to-5 job.
The 9-to-5 job is, I think, it's just it's a slavery.
Why?
Because you are dedicated to someone else's business.
I don't think it's more of a slavery, because what I was trying to say is it's someone who is unable to raise funds to start a business, because for you to do whatever you've said, you need funds to start a business. So this is someone who is just able to go through schools, maybe by government sponsorship, which is majority of how people go through university or higher education learning. So this is someone who has gone through school. If they start a business, if someone has gone through business school and someone who hasn't gone through business school, who do you think would succeed?
Okay, someone else is doing business, someone else is studying business.
Okay.
In the real world, doing things matter. So the person who is going to do business will be much better because he's experienced in the real world. He knows how the market, the situation in the market. Things that are on the book is different from things on the ground.
Yeah, it's different, but someone who has gone through school will have more knowledge than them. Because I don't know if you're a Bible subscriber. My people perish because of lack of knowledge. Knowledge is good to have, and it will help you in any particular field, assuming you're going through business, as you've said. If you have the knowledge, the know-how of accounting, finance, marketing, you'll be far off better than someone who hasn't gone.
Can I get knowledge based on experience on the field? I try, I fail until it works. Then I'll be the best in that field.
I think it's much easier for you to learn, because trying and failing...
Because you're afraid of failure.
Not really.
You're afraid of failure.
Not really afraid of failure.
Because school, it's like school discourages failure.
Okay.
And in the real world, you must fail at some point.
Yeah, at some point it discourages failure. But what I'm trying to say is, when you go through school, there's knowledge you learn, and when you come out, it will be beneficial for you. So if you put two people here in a room, you're starting a business. Let's just use the most typical case scenario. You're starting a business and there are two people you need to employ as the CEO of your business. So one went through these Ivy League universities, let's speak Harvard, went through Harvard Business School. The other one just did business. Who would you trust with your millions? Would you trust someone who is just doing their business, or someone who has graduated in these Ivy League universities? Which one would you trust?
Someone who has owned a business before.
Why?
Because they have the experience. Someone who studied the business doesn't have the experience, because he was not doing things. This guy who owns a business has been doing things, has faced the challenges in the market, and he knows the loopholes. He knows almost everything because he is experienced there. But
there's some knowledge he will lack, policy knowledge on how to run a business. There are some things he will lack. And that's how many people lose money. They get into a business that they don't understand. They employ people who don't understand that business. For example, you're in a fitness type of business. You don't understand the laws behind it, the regulation, the tax policies. As an individual, you can't know all that from experience. There's some knowledge you get from school. You've said that you try and fail. It's much easier to safeguard your business by making sure you understand everything within that.
You're talking about going the legal means.
Yeah.
Do you know that most businesses that start legally, they do fail?
Why?
No, because never go legal until you start getting money.
Why do they fail?
Because the legal way of starting a business, you are going to start spending money.
Okay.
You're still going to start using my license. You are going to start spending money. It is a business. Why are you giving out your money? And the money should be coming in.
It's the legal way.
You've started spending. Ushaanza kutafuta lawyer. Ushaanza kutafuta nini. Ushatafuta ofisi. Ushatafuta. Yani you're spending money. You don't know if the business is going to be profitable. But instead of right now you can do things online.
Yeah, you can.
I can sell my products online. I don't need an office. Unapata the education system.
Okay.
Itakwambia to those legal means you need a lawyer, you need an office, a lot of things. The legal way will get you spending more money.
But you have to spend money to make money, and it's beneficial in one way or the other. Because I'll use your example. I'll keep using your example. You're running a business and you're selling fitness products, and local gyms want to get your products, and for them to give you that tender, they need you to have every legal document so that they can award you that tender. Because they are an entity themselves. They don't want to risk themselves dealing with individuals. They want to deal with a legal entity that's recognized by law as a company.
When it reaches a point where the other gyms want to get my product, it's mean that I've started getting some money.
Okay.
Now I have to go legal.
So your theory is, first of all, you start illegally, then later on you go legal. Once the money comes in.
Never go legal before the money comes in. But that's the truth.
Okay, that's a controversial one. What about, will you go back to MKU because was it a suspension or expulsion?
It was a suspension. So you see, I'm almost done with my last semester.
Okay. Oh, by the time that happened, you were in 4.1.
Yeah.
Did it take you that long for you to figure out that school is a scam? Did it take you 4 years so that you can figure out that this thing is a scam?
Yeah. Brainstorming.
How did it happen? Did you just wake up one day and...
Okay, I'm doing English literature.
Okay.
I was like, how much do teachers get paid?
And not a lot in this country.
Huh?
Not a lot in this country.
Like for a starting teacher, it's approximately.
It's not a lot. I'm not sure about the figures.
10 to 15,000 there.
Yeah.
10 to 15,000 there.
Yeah.
You are in Nairobi.
Okay.
Tell me, 10 to 15,000. Can you survive in Nairobi?
You can't survive in Nairobi. But does that mean no one should be a teacher?
Yeah.
Does that mean no one should be a teacher?
Then if you're there,
okay,
you want to do it for the people.
Okay.
Then go be a teacher. But if it is for your own benefit,
okay,
then I think maybe you're in the wrong profession. If you are there for the money, then you're in the wrong profession.
Isn't that more of a government problem? Because the government is the the biggest employer of teachers.
Don't blame the government.
It's never a government problem.
Never blame the government. It chose the path.
I am known as a government blamer. I always blame the government.
It chose the path. It's like there's a snake there. I know that snake gonna bite me.
Okay.
Then I step on it, then it bites me. I start blaming the government.
To some extent, you have to blame it because
why?
They are the highest.
Why should you not take responsibility? Why do you want to blame the government every time? Why should you not take responsibility?
It's not about taking responsibility.
Yeah, it's because it's all about you. It's all about you.
Because ideally, in the real world, as you say, not everyone can do business. Not everyone has the passion to do
What
business.
makes you think that not everyone can do business? It's just that's a conspiracy theory. What makes you think that no one can do business?
No, in a
It's
realistic world, not everyone can do business because of many factors. I can't even list them all. Lack of capital. There are many factors that would limit everyone doing business. Maybe oversaturating the market. There's a lot of factors why a lot of people wouldn't do business. Maybe they don't have the interest. At the end of the day, it's about doing what really you're fulfilled and making money out of it. So I'd blame the government for not paying the teachers well, because one, they do a lot of work which is helping us all. We wouldn't be educated to the level we are without them. So it's more of teachers not being paid well. It's a government issue for me.
No, it's not a government issue. You chose the path.
So they have to bear the consequences.
Yeah, you chose the path. If you're not, it is very hard to be where you're not comfortable.
Okay.
It's very hard. Imagine right now, this coach is on fire.
Okay.
You'll be uncomfortable. Will you still remain there?
I won't.
You won't. Meaning the people who are there, they are comfortable there. They're comfortable there. So you can never blame the government. You chose the path. Your life belongs to you.
You can blame the government. I'll use another example. We can even discuss about that. Like the recent doctors' strike. So the doctors got into the career knowing that it's well paid. It's not like the literature teachers or any other teacher. The doctors got into this career knowing that it's paying. But how the government is treating them is quite unfair. So they are caught up in a situation where they just have to survive, but they didn't prepare for this. For them, that's the matrix attack. That's the matrix attack for them.
So they should have escaped the matrix.
Yeah, in a way they would have. But again, not everyone can do business. Some people just have to work.
What makes you think that not everyone can do business?
Because of a lot of factors, oversaturation of the markets.
That's
over competition. There's a lot of things that not everyone have the capital.
That's what we are taught in business.
Monopoly.
Business classes.
And it's factual.
What if?
Yeah.
What if do I need people to start a business?
Do you need people to start a business?
My skills. Can I start a business without money? Do you think I can start a business without money?
No. No. You can't start a business without money. At some point.
What about just offering my skills?
Who will you offer your skills to? To employment? Where will you offer your skills?
To the people.
Then you will need money for that. Because I like using examples because they take you to the real world, as you say.
When you are starting, when you are someone who is starting, you want to get capital.
Okay.
Maybe you want capital to start some business. Okay. Angalia watu wa mjengo.
Okay.
Mtu wa mjengo si ataenda tu offer service yake.
But he's not a business. He's employed. They are employed. They are not a business. They are offering services as foremen, but they are not employed. They are not a business. They are employed. They are employed by someone. They have to show up at maybe 7 or 6 as per the instructions of whoever owns that site. They have to leave at this time. They have to work all those hours, and they are paid the wage that the employer decides. So they are employed.
Okay. No, I was talking about how you can get capital.
Or how you can get capital. So you have to get into employment for you to get that capital. Which brings you back to my point of, for me, how I look at things. I myself would want to become a business owner. The business I've not yet decided, but the approach I'd take is, because currently I don't have enough capital to start a business. So there are 2 options for you to start a business. So one is you look for investors. And you getting investors, you have to have a product that's really convinces them. And at some point, some investors would want to take a bigger step of your business and which won't be profitable in the long run. Another option is for you to use the matrix, which is employment, get some money out of employment, then quit, then start your business. And the experience you're talking about, you'll gain it through that entity that you've worked for, and you'll get a lot of knowledge and know-hows of how the real world works. Then you can start your own business. Because there's no direct line.
Do you think you get experience from school?
Do we get experience from school?
It's maybe like how to run a business. Do you think you...
how to run a business? From school, what you'll get is the knowledge, the know-how. But applying it practically is different. It's like before you fly a plane, you'll go through these theoretical classes, or even driving school, through these theoretical classes of how you do everything. But that won't help you to drive a car, right? But it's quite necessary for you to know this knowledge of driving schools and the road signs and everything before you even go to the practical side. So school offers you that first phase. But once you're learned, then you go to the second phase, which is driving. You'll be better than someone who is failing and keeps on hitting things.
Let me ask you,
so that they can learn.
Let me ask you. Okay, we have two people who are studying, who want to know how to play a guitar. Okay, so the first guy is trying to play with the strings, coming up with some tunes. Yeah. Then there's the second guy is reading a book on how to play a guitar. Okay. Give these people 6 months. Who will be better?
I need to be the first one.
Who will be better?
The first one.
Exactly.
But does it work?
Because that is what the real world entails. Doing things. It is doing things, not reading. How many people have read books but have not applied in the real world? It's like it's like mental masturbation, because you're just feeding your mind with things that you're not going to apply.
But I will blame them, because that's their problem for not applying whatever they learned. Because how I see it is the same way I've gone through an IT course, and there are lecturers who are not the best software engineers, or they don't have the biggest IT companies in Kenya. But they have all the knowledge. You can tell they have the conceptual knowledge of how everything works, how to make a website, how to program. But they themselves chose not to do business because of their reasons. So I would blame them for not doing it. I'd blame them for not putting action into what they have. But I'll not say whatever they know is a scam. Okay. Whatever they know is still knowledge that anyone can apply and use it in the real world, and it will work.
Okay. If today you have been asked, you want to learn how to run a business. Okay. You have Pablo Escobar. Okay. You have your lecturer. Who do you go for?
I'd go to my lecturer still.
Bro, you have a mind of a label.
I'm a conservative, actually. I'm highly conservative.
Yeah, we know that. So you're trying to tell me, between Pablo Escobar and your lecturer, who is more of a business?
I'd go to where did Pablo Escobar end up in? I'd go to my lecturer still. Where did Pablo Escobar go?
No one cares where he ended up. The fact is, he knew how to run a business.
But there are people who
are multi-million.
There are people who are learned and still doing their business, like the CEO of Equity or any other CEO, because most CEOs are learned of these big organizations. Like the CEO of Equity started the company from scratch. He has a PhD. He's a doctor. He has a PhD. That's an example of someone who has gone through the system. So yes, they started this business, but they still went to school, got some knowledge, and applied it in their business. And it's working well. Equity is one of the most profitable banks in Kenya. And it's working well. So there's examples of a lot of people who went through this school route and it worked. So how I look at things is, the world is a 50-50 gamble. So there's someone who will go through school, become the top student in a class, but not succeed. There's someone who will start a business and it will not succeed. Yes, they have the capital, they have everything they need, but it will not succeed. So the world is a gamble, and for you to be at the best position is making sure that your odds are high. How are your odds? How does your odds become high? By going through school, you will be employable. So in case your business fails, you're still employable. You have a security there that's left for you. So your odds are always high. In case you're doing a business, you're not trying or going there to fail. You're going there with your expertise, with your skills, with your knowledge. You're going to attack and win.
Do you think that the universe is extremely giving? Whatever you put in?
But the universe is extremely giving. I do not know anyone who's good at something.
Do you think, yeah,
and has failed?
So you think if someone starts a business,
okay,
and it fails, does it mean that you did not do your best?
Sometimes you do your best, but
it wasn't the best.
Not that it wasn't the best.
You know you did the best.
Not that it wasn't the best.
You might think that you did the best, but you never did.
So sometimes now it's about that's where school comes in. So if you have gone through school, you'd understand that before you go to any business, you need to do market research. These are the things someone who hasn't gone through school wouldn't do. So you need to do a market research of whatever business you're going into. So if you just pick a random business and go to it, what will happen is you might not know if there's demand for that business or product. What are the competitions there? For example, you're trying to start a telecommunication company in Kenya, and you know so well that Safaricom has that monopoly power in Kenya. So it will be hard for you to do it, no matter how many resources you have. But now with identifying the right business, it's quite easier. So for me, it's all about knowing what you're doing than not knowing what you're doing.
Maybe you can get that through experience, doing something that you never did.
Experience will give you that. I won't lie.
Well, I think experience is much better. That's why they say it's the best teacher.
It is the best teacher. There was a time I went through this interview, and it was going quite well. The interview was going quite well.
Yeah.
I probably thought that they were impressed, but one of them said this one thing: experience is better than talent. Like for them, they don't want someone who is talented in this skill. They want someone who is experienced in this skill. That statement didn't mean talent or knowing something very well is bad, but all it meant is to defend my point. You can go through school and also gain the experience that is required from you. So by doing that, you get both. Your odds are high.
Okay, you have studied. Let's say that you have studied a bunch of books. You've studied them.
Yeah.
Does it mean that you are experienced with what you've studied?
For me, I'd prefer someone who has read the books, as long as you're looking for the knowledge, than someone who is not reading the books, just going to the business and trying out things until they fail. When you look for knowledge, it will help you in any way you want. You can choose not to go to university because maybe it's expensive. Maybe they are choosing specific people who have gotten these grades. But you can alternatively go read a book about economics, and you will be even much better than someone who went through business.
So it's better you go for self-education where you learn things that you are going to use in the real world.
Yeah,
necessary stuff.
Yeah. As long as you're looking for knowledge, for me it's okay. I don't defend education as an entity. I defend education as a place of knowledge, not as its entity. Because as an entity, it's not that good. But I defend it because it's a place where you get knowledge. So if you prefer to be self-taught, because the world now is digital, you can go to YouTube, learn some skill and apply it in the real world. So.
Yeah. Do you think this country could be better if we had a white president?
Is it about the race or the color of the people? Because I follow up on geopolitics so much, and they're not doing quite well. They're also complaining about the leaders they have. America is complaining about Joe Biden, its economy is doing badly, so there's no difference, white or black. Politicians are more of the same. But do you think it will be better if we had the white leader?
Yeah, because I think white people are much brighter and knowledgeable than black people.
Yeah, why do you say that?
White people have built so many beautiful things.
Like what?
Huh?
Like what?
Look America.
Okay.
America is beautiful because of the white people.
Not because of the white people. One thing you miss about America. One thing you miss out about America is it went really far because for the longest time, most of the countries like that time, the British had already made slavery unlawful. So America had still had free labor. So they went far because they had all this free labor around. If you have free labor, trust me, the country will progress. So the reason why it's far off is because they had free labor for a long time.
White people used their knowledge so that they can use the black people so that they can grow the country. So it means the white people are much intelligent.
I don't think that's how you can test whether they're intelligent, because there's a time Egyptians had the Jews as slaves. So for the longest time, a lot of people blame the whites because of how they colonized people, how they enslaved people. But what they miss out is it's because they're the last people to do that. Before that, if you're a follower of history, people have always been slaves. People have always been colonized either by the Romans, either by the British. It's always someone who's there and is powerful and uses the rest.
Do you remember George Floyd?
Yes, I remember George Floyd.
Now, I saw that his statue was erected in the States. Okay. Do you think that was worth it? Erecting his statue?
I don't think it was worth it to erect his statue. What about you?
I don't think, because he had criminal records. Okay. And was someone who used drugs.
What about his death? Do you think his death was government?
No.
Or it was the way they claimed it was killed by the police?
Well, maybe I don't know. What did he do?
I'm not sure what crime he was accused of, but recently there's been these claims that the government did that. It was more of a propaganda thing to just bring out the mass of black people, and it was more of something that was planned. I'm not sure again with my facts, but I don't see him with George Floyd. I don't see him as a sort of a black activist or something. I wouldn't compare him to the likes of Malcolm X or Martin Luther King. So he was just a victim of an accident or an incident.
Do you think black people have brought more problem to Americans? Black people, to America. They have brought a lot of problem to America.
A lot of people have brought problems to America. I mean, a lot of people have done. I know the numbers of crime rate in the black areas is higher than the rest.
So it means that the problem.
There's a lot
in that country.
There's a lot of things that makes the black people that way. Any place where, let's take an example of Kenya. So any place where there are people who are not empowered and they are not financially stable, what will happen? Those areas will be crime rate.
Do you need someone to empower you to be the best version of yourself?
No. You don't need anyone to empower you. But what you're missing out with black people is, for the longest time, they were just seeking for equal rights. Yeah. They were treated unequally. They were treated as if they're less of other people. They weren't offered chances to go to school. They weren't given jobs, or if they're given, they're paid wages which is minimum. So they have been in a position where they were not treated equally. But currently, I think it's more of an equal ground. Of course, not that equal, but at least they have equal opportunities to white people. That's why you're seeing the rise of black billionaires, because now they're given equal rights. And black people have proven to be smart, to be intelligent, and even much better than the whites. I'd say you are more of the white supremacist notion has gotten into.
Do you believe in racism?
How would I believe in racism?
Do you think it exists?
It exists.
Evidence that racism exists.
Do you think it exists? Let me ask
I don't
you
think
that.
it exists.
Why?
Because there is no evidence of racism.
What do you mean there's no evidence?
Tell me
of
one
racism?
evidence of racism.
There's a million examples.
Give me one.
There's a million examples.
Give me one. Give me one.
I'm going to give you an example. There's a million examples of racism, and it's there from people being called the N-word, which mostly people in America, they wouldn't want. Of course, I wouldn't mind being called that because I don't have any history with that name, or my ancestors don't have any history with that name. But racism exists. There are people who are minorities in specific.
You haven't given me and you just talked about the N-word.
And they're treated less of who they are.
What makes it?
Many black people go through racism.
See, you have people you like and people you don't like.
Yeah.
You have people you like and people you don't like. So
you don't think racism exists?
There are white people you like and there are white people you don't like. There are black people you like and there are black people you don't like. Like, for example, tribalism. Okay. I don't think tribalism exists.
Why don't you think it exists?
Because, for example, there are Kalenjin people I like and other Kalenjin people that I don't like. There are Luo people that I like and there are other Luo people that I don't like. So there are people I like and people I don't like.
But
it is very stupid.
But tribalism exists. You can't say it does not.
It doesn't exist.
It does exist.
If I like, okay.
Have you seen how many employers of how many Kikuyus and Kalenjins are employed in government entities? Go look at the numbers.
How is that tribal?
It is tribal. It's quite clear that it's tribal.
How is that tribal? Maybe
you can't have 70% of a specific tribe in one organization.
Then you are tribal to think that way. Then you are the one who is tribal.
Not really. You call a spade a spade. Tribalism exists, racism exists, and it has existed for the longest time.
That it is in your mind. It does not exist.
It does exist.
For you thinking what we are all humans. We are all humans. Tribe is just some brand. We are all humans. When it comes to a point where you say that my tribe is not represented there,
okay,
those are humans. For you to think that your tribe is not represented there, you're the one who is now promoting tribalism.
I'm not promoting it. Let me give you an example.
Because why do you? We're all
tribalism at its best. So Kenyan politics has been known for tribalism. You can tell how regions vote, and they vote purely based on tribe. Nothing. It's just tribal. Politics in Kenya is purely tribal, and that's why you have kingpins of specific tribes. That's why we are having this currently, if you're aware, in Kenya, there's this conflict over the mountain and who will be the kingpin, and how the mountain is not, their needs are not met as a tribe. They had the Limuru 3, so they came together as a tribe, and they were saying that we are not represented in this government, it's not working for our benefit as a tribe. That's why they went there, and they were asking for this, there's this thing they were asking for, one man, one vote.
So you're talking about politics. That is
everywhere.
Okay. So you are talking about politics.
Yeah.
That's why politics is a tool to control the people. Do you think Raila hates Ruto? Or Ruto hates Raila? Do you think those people hate each other?
But these are two.
Do you think?
I'll answer your question. But these are two different things. Let's debate one thing at a time. So we are debating about tribalism. So I think it exists.
Then you used politics. Now I want to tell you that these leaders will use politics so that they can control the mind of the people, so that they can cause division. When there is division, you can easily control.
I think
that's why you have divided rule.
This is why I think it exists. Kenyan politicians have been known to use there are two weapons that they use to control the people. One is tribalism.
Yeah.
So you must keep the tribalism card up so that at the end of the day, I'm a follower of politics, so I'll give you examples. 2017. So in 2017, people were tired of Uhuru and Ruto.
Yeah.
They were literally tired because nothing was done during those 5 years, 2013 to 2017. But because of the tribal card, most people from Central region and the Rift said Tano Tena, and they were given the position again. So they use one tribal card. Number two, what politicians use is they make sure people are as poor as possible. So they use poverty as a weapon because you can't go to the rich and lie to them and give them 500 to vote for you. But you can do that with the poor. Because let me ask you a question. If Ruto gave you a couple of millions to vote for him, I'm sure you'd vote for him, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with the poor. If you keep someone very poor that they're earning 500 a day, then on that day you come give them 1,000 shillings, money they have never seen, money that they can't get easily. They'll easily vote for you because at the end of the day, how the human mind works, everyone has a price that they can be bought for.
Yeah.
Like everyone has a price. So what they do is they make sure your price is as low as possible so that when they come to you, they'll buy you easily. So tribalism exists and it's there for the politicians to use. Poverty exists. Racism exists. All these things.
But you
exist.
never gave me an evidence of racism.
Racism exists. We can even use the George Floyd example.
He was a criminal.
A white person holding.
He was a criminal.
Let me give you another example. I'm not sure if you're aware. After the elections,
Blacks are very petty.
After the elections in the US, so there was 2020, which was the Black Lives Matter protest.
Yeah.
A lot of black people were killed just by peacefully protesting. Then there was another protest that happened. So there's another protest that happened after Trump lost the election. So white people were going to the Congress to riot. None of them was harmed. They are going to this government institution. It's like an example of us going to parliament striking. None of them was harmed. None. And there's black people protesting because one of them is allegedly killed and people are killed. Racism exists.
Okay. Where did you get the news?
Racism exists. It's there. It's in the public.
Do you believe in the news?
I'm smart enough to know that sometimes it's propaganda, but I'm also smart enough to know that sometimes it's factual.
Do you think that USA is a propaganda machine?
Everyone does propaganda.
USA is good in doing that.
Everyone does propaganda.
But the United States is better in doing that.
Everyone is good with propaganda.
No. Huh?
Everyone is good with propaganda. Someone was telling me that.
Like let's talk about. Let me tell you. Okay. I want to bring this. Do you recall the TikTok ban? The TikTok ban in the USA. Do you think it is associated with a spy from China?
I think America loves to be sovereign. America loves to be sovereign as a country. So one thing they don't like is someone feeling that they are above them. And for them pushing for TikTok to be banned, they gave TikTok two options. So one option was TikTok will be run by an American company. The TikTok in America, not in the rest of the world, will be run by an American company. So that makes sure that every data is monitored and they're sure that they're not being spied, as you've said. So for them, that was a plus because at the end of the day, if it's run by an American company, the revenue and everything stays in their country. So it's two-sided. For America, it's always about them feeling like they're superior than
so they are greedy. So it's not all about getting spied.
For them, it's not even about being spied.
Because if there's an information that China needed, it cannot take them even a minute to get the information that they want.
Yeah, it can't get any information with the current world. iPhones, which is a phone that's mostly used in America, they're literally manufactured in China. So if they wanted to put a chip there, they would have, but they don't. So spying is quite easy in the modern world.
It's the same USA that killed Huawei.
Yeah. But you have to agree with me, racism exists. Racism exists.
There is no evidence of racism. It is only the media.
There's no evidence.
It is only the media which is trying to tell us that racism exists. Have you ever experienced racism?
I've never experienced. I'm lucky enough to be. I'm getting to my point.
Blacks are very petty.
I've never experienced racism.
Okay, when you go, I think blacks are very petty. Maybe you find a white man has stepped on a black man accidentally. Okay. Then the black one will be like, "No, you're stepping on me because I'm black."
Of course, they are petty, but you can't use one example to justify everything else. There are black people who are petty, there are white people who are petty. That's just a human trait. But also, racism exists. What I'm getting from you actually is you are more of a white supremacist, which is quite odd for a black person to be white supremacist.
Do you think that we are running short of white people? That white people will become dominant in the near future. We are running short of white people, white babies. Do you think we need more white babies in this world?
I can't answer that as a black man, whether we need more white people or not.
Do you think
that's for the whites?
Do you think we need more white babies in this world?
It's a yes or no. I don't really think. I can't answer that question, whether we need more of them or not. I am not in charge of that. So, yeah. So yeah, but racism exists. There's no way you can say that it doesn't exist. There's no way you can say that tribalism does not exist. As a Kenyan, 2007 happened. You can't blindly say that these things didn't happen. Of course, I don't want to talk about it because it's quite that it's not a happy thing to talk about. 2007 happened. People killed each other for one reason. You're this tribe, you're not this tribe. So tribalism is there. It's an ugly thing. Racism is there. It's an ugly thing.
Do you think your vote really counts?
Yes, it really counts.
What makes you think that your vote really counts?
So I'll finish up by this because time is going. I think votes count, not necessarily because people vote. So with power, one thing I used to think is these powerful people are just powerful. But going through the history of the Romans, power is only to someone who the people think power is to.
So you think
for any politician to be powerful in any regard, they have to have the backing of the people.
Yeah.
That's why they invest a lot of money in the campaign. Because if people don't believe you have the power, which happened in 2007, people didn't believe this person had this power. If people don't believe you have the power, if in their minds they don't think you have this power, they will do everything to go and get it. It happened in 2007. It was quite ugly. People didn't think he won. So you have to have the love of the people.
So you think a vote really counts? You think it is worth it for you to go stand there in the sun for hours just to cast your ballot paper?
Yes, I advocate for people to vote, to go and vote. Elections in Kenya has become more reliable than ever.
What makes you think
so people should go vote?
What makes you think that way?
What makes you think that it's not reliable?
Because I don't trust the government. I don't trust it.
Why do you think it's not reliable?
Because it is a project that is held by the government.
Yeah, but there are many projects held by the government, like vaccines.
Do you trust COVID-19? Do you think COVID-19 was real or?
Let's stick to one topic first before we jump into
everything you're mentioning, including those vaccines. You took an experimental drug. Were you vaccinated?
But let's stick to one topic first.
Were you vaccinated?
We are talking about elections, right? And how, if they're reliable or not. So they can't be connected to vaccines.
Okay.
They are really disconnected in that regard. The IEBC is independent on its own. So why do you think IEBC is not? Why do you think elections are
what
not
makes you
valid?
think? That's what they have made you to think, that IEBC is independent. That is what they have written on paper for you to think that way. Why are you trusting that? I cannot trust that. I'm not a sheep. I cannot trust everything that they put on paper. That IEBC is independent.
But
they are not.
That's not reason enough.
Do you think the judiciary is independent?
Okay,
it is independent judiciary.
We are coming to that, but you can't solely base you not trusting something because it's by the government. You can't say you're not trusting M-Pesa because government owns majority share.
Mm.
You cannot put an argument based on the fact that the government owns this, the government runs this. There's a lot of things the government runs, and you trust it every day. Government runs a lot of things, and you trust it every day. Does not mean because you cannot you can say an election is invalid because of evidence, not conspiracy.
Your vote,
I think it counts.
Your vote doesn't count.
Why doesn't it count?
It doesn't count.
Why?
Because if they choose their leaders.
How do they choose their leaders? I'm quite curious. How do they choose their leaders? Since for me, I know it's through election.
Yeah, it's through elections, but they are the people who will choose that.
How do they do that?
There are people up there who will choose.
If it was that, then
it is that.
If it was that, then Raila would have won because they were in government. Who was in government back in Raila, yet he didn't win.
Let me tell you. Have you do you follow Putin? Do you follow Putin?
Before you get to that, I want you to defend your whatever.
Yeah, I want to use the Putin said it. But that if you look at America.
But I want you to stand for whatever you.
Yeah, I'm using Putin's point.
You're saying.
If you look at America,
okay.
If you look at America, Putin said that in America, when there are people who, when the president is chosen,
okay,
that the people are going to they tell the president what to do.
But it doesn't.
After choosing, that the ones who decide who's going to be the president. Right now, I'm seeing Trump. Trump has the numbers, but you don't know if he will be chosen.
Trump has won before.
He has won.
You don't know if he will be chosen. He has won before, and he's always. Trump has been that person. You can tell he's not controllable by anyone.
Trump has won before. Who was he competing against?
Hillary
Clinton.
Yes.
Hillary Clinton had no chance. He was not.
She had all the chances.
She wasn't a better option even for the Matrix.
You never.
She wasn't even a better option.
You don't follow up the polls. Hillary is the Matrix, my guy. Hillary is the Matrix.
Yeah, I followed what she has done. I follow what she has done, but there are people who now control everything. No.
It does not happen that way. I think you don't have a clear picture of how things are. Because for any person to get a seat, people have to approve. If they don't, it has been proven throughout history. People will revolt. It has been proven throughout history. People will revolt.
Can you revolt?
Whenever they feel.
Can you revolt?
Well, let's take it slow.
Can you revolt?
Before we go to a lot of questions. It has been proven throughout history that if someone does not, if people don't think that you have the power, they will revolt against you. Throughout time, it has been proven.
We are the people. Do you think you can revolt?
The power is not. What I'm getting from you is you think these people are that powerful. Power is to the people. The people have the power.
That is what is correct on paper.
They decide who has the power. It happens everywhere. The people decide who has the power.
There's no democracy.
Number two, like I'm getting from you, is that your mind is colonized because. There's no way you can say that whites are superior to the blacks. So these are two things I'm getting from this.
Do you think blacks are superior to the whites?
I don't think any race is superior. Individuals can be superior, but I don't think there's a superior race in the world.
But you said that racism exists.
It does exist. And my points align. My points align, and this is how they align.
But
individuals let me tell you, racism is not based on the fact that specific races are superior. It's based on the fact that some races think they are superior. Not that the whites are superior, not that the Jews are superior.
Between South Africa and Kenya, which one is more developed?
We'll talk a lot about that, but
can you just answer it?
We can talk a lot about which one is superior or not.
Which one is more developed between South Africa and Kenya?
It depends with a lot of things, because in terms of maybe
now we want to generalize it. Just generalize it.
To generalize it, South Africa is quite ahead of us.
Why?
In terms of development than we are.
Because they have more white people.
Not because they have more white people. Have you?
They have more white people because white people are much intelligent.
That's just a white.
Do you think? Let me tell you. What do you think? Kenya would be far much better if they would allow colonialists to stay.
Well, not so much. Do you know of countries where colonialists stay? Have you heard of DRC? Do you know where it is?
I know.
They're not there to help you. They're there to exploit as much as they can. They're not there to help you. That's why people chased away the whites. They are not here to help us. They are not here to build things for us. They are taking people's lands. They were starting their own companies. Every profit was going to the queen, and the black man was not benefiting in any way. Yes, it can be developed because they are there, but you will stay in abject poverty, which is happening in South Africa. They own most of the good lands, most of the companies. They control the government. So you're just left there to be in poverty and have nothing, while the whites live and flourish.
Do you think white people are going extinct?
I think that will be the last one. I don't think anyone is going.
We need more white babies.
I don't think anyone is going extinct.
Yes, we need more white babies.
I can't answer that because I'm not a black person. So yeah, I think we'll end it there. Time has gone. This has been an interesting conversation. But one thing I got from you is I think you're a white supremacist.
I'm not a white supremacist.
And your mind is colonized to some extent.
How?
The views of how you view white people as superior, it just goes to...
I'm not saying that.
You're literally saying they're superior.
But white people have built beautiful things, a lot of things. Look at blacks. Blacks are the ones who are destroying America.
They're not.
They're the ones who are bringing problems to America.
They're not the ones bringing problems to America.
Look at Google states that are ruled by the blacks.
And I've justified the point.
They're chaotic.
It's chaotic, and I'll use. You can use examples of blacks. You can use examples of any place where poverty is. Crime rate is going to be high, white or poor. Crime rate is going to be up. Even in the white states, the places where there's high poverty, crime rate will be high. The place will probably not look so good. And the places where there is money, the places will look good. Crime rate will be low, like the suburbs. Even here in Kenya, you go to Mathare, crime rate will be a little bit high because of the people there are, they're not empowered enough.
Yeah.
You go to the high-rise estates, crime rate is low because it's the suburbs. People have money. People are empowered there. They have the connection. They have everything. So it's all about empowerment, and it's not about a specific race being evil.
Okay.
So I think we'll close it there. But yeah, you are a white supremacist and colonized. So thank you.
But I'm wearing a black shirt and you're wearing a white shirt, bro.
Thank you for coming to the show.